now. Um, I Lily just messaged me that she's unable to make it, and Jay is having work done at his house, so he may join late. But anyway, welcome back, and before and also welcome to the class, Mark. It's a pleasure to have you. Eyshe, the floor is yours.
Thank you. All right, Shalom Aleichem Alamen. As you might already know me, my name is Eyshe. I think I've met with most of you, Mark at least over the phone, and Thea for the first time. Wonderful to meet you. I'm really excited to be here. Today, like we talked about, I took to heart all of the suggestions that you all had made about what is most interesting, what you'd like to learn. And I've come up with a sort of tentative curriculum that we're going to start with today. And if it goes well and we all like it, and today it might be a little bit more difficult just because we're getting back into the rhythm of things, and that's totally expected. But at any rate, if things go well, after this class, I'll send out a sort of tentative syllabus. No stress involved. I'm usually a very casual teacher. So all that means is the syllabus will be for your reference if you'd like to do homework, if you'd like to do extra work, or if you'd just like to keep track of what's going on or where my thought processes are about what we're doing, that will be for your reference. But when it comes to class time, my goal and what I like to do is I like to basically make every class geared towards your interests, what you would like to know, and specifically your questions. So I create a skeleton, and then we just lead the class in whatever direction it takes us. Please feel free to keep your mics unmuted if you'd like, or muted if that's better for you. You're welcome to speak at any moment. And so today, my idea is that we're going to introduce ourselves a little bit, especially for me, who might not know you yet. And then we're gonna do a little bit of some grammar review, talk about some important kind of foundational elements of the Yiddish language that to start with that I think might be useful as we go forward, especially at your level. And then we're going to do a little bit of reading practice together to kind of warm ourselves up and get back into the swing of speaking Yiddish, or for those who might not have actually read a Yiddish book before, this will be a great time. Just kind of relax. I will be here to translate if something is unknown. There's truly no stress involved. It's just about reading and kind of getting ourselves used to the language in a more classroom setting and also in a more spoken mode. Okay, at any rate, we can go ahead and start. One note about me is I will often slip into Yiddish, which is great because this is a Yiddish classroom. But that being said, if there's something you don't understand or if you have a question, really at any moment, please feel free to speak and ask it. I will often translate what I say after I say it. Or if I feel like I don't need to translate it, maybe I'll skip that portion. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But at any rate, jetzt will ich reden auf Yiddish. Bereich. Auf Ordnung? Gut. Shalom Aleichem. Wie ich habe gesagt, ich heiße Eyshe. Ich bin ein Lehrer. Ich bin ein Student beim germanischen Abteil bei der Universität von Chicago. Das heißt, I'm a student in the Germanics department at the University of Chicago. Ich studiere Yiddish. Yiddish ist mein Leben. Ich bin Tage Yiddishist. Ich lerne Yiddish. Ich schreibe wegen jiddischer Literatur. Und ich gucke so stark raus auf ein Reden mit euch und auf ein sich zu lernen ein bisschen mehr wegen unserer Mama Loschen. Gut, wie ich habe gesagt, wir wollen sich vorstellen. We're going to introduce ourselves a little. Was ich will wissen, what I would like to know, was ich will wissen, is dein Nomen, und das heißt dein Nomen auf Englisch, oder ob du hast den jiddischen Nomen, ich will das euch wissen, ja, ob du hast einen Nomen, was ist bequemer auf Jiddisch, das ist gut zu wissen von mir. Das heißt dein Nomen, du kannst sagen, von wann du stammst, von wann du kommst, ja, das heißt, wo bist du geboren geworden, ob du bist nicht bequem, if you're not comfortable, ob du bist nicht bequem with this expression, mit dem Ausdruck expression. I'm going to write this in the chat right now. Der Ausdruck, it means expression, and it's actually sort of a calque with English. All this means is it directly mirrors the English word. Ois means outwards, literally Latin X. Right? X, outwards, ois. Druck means to press something. Often it's used in context of printing. A gedruckt Buch is a printed book. A gedruckt Buch is a printed book. Thus, if you're out expressing something, it's an Ausdruck. Der Ausdruck. It means expression. Und ob du bist nicht bequem mit dem Ausdruck geboren geworden, das heißt, where you were born. Ja, ich bin geboren geworden. Geboren. I was born. Ich bin geboren geworden. Das heißt, dass ich will wissen, dein Name, sehr poschet, oder jiddische Namen, von wann du stammst. Das heißt, wo bist du geboren geworden und wo wohnst du jetzt? Ja. Und euch aber liebster Fakt wegen sich allein. Ja, ich will wissen nur ein Fakt. Es kann sein sehr poschet, es kann sein kompliziert, es macht nicht aus. Aber ich will wissen ein Fakt wegen dir, was du kannst erzählen. Okay, in Ordnung. Bei euch? Ein bisschen?
Was ist ein Neudrum? Was ist ein Neudrum?
In Ordnung.
In Ordnung. Was
So,
ist da?
in Ordnung heißt, is everything all right? Does that make sense?
In
Ordnung. Just like in English, in order. In order.
In Ordnung.
Good.
In
Okay, this is good.
Ordnung.
So basically, just to review, I would like to know your name of Yiddish,
Yeah.
where you were born, where you live now, just any sort of things you'd like to tell. And kein Mishpit bin ich nicht. This is a good expression.
Okay.
Kein Mishpit bin ich nicht. That means I'm not a judge. I'm very, very, very okay.
Okay.
I'm happy to engage with all levels of Yiddish. That's what I'm here for. I'm a teacher. So don't be shy. So yeah, just to review 3 things. Your name.
Jay, welcome in.
Yo, Shalom Aleichem, Jay. Ich meine sein Audio.
Yeah, is connecting to audio,
Ja, gut.
yeah. Okay.
Wir wollen anheben. Gut, ich will wissen, dein Name, wo du bist geboren geworden und wo du wohnst jetzt, where you live now. And a beliebster fact. Beliebst tastes a favorite. So just a fun or favorite fact about yourself. A beliebster fact wegen sich. Auf Yiddish, sei sehr gut. Okay. Efsche wollen wir anheben mit Gloria. Gloria, willst du sich vorstellen? Aber dein Mikrofon ist verstummt leider. Ich kann dich nicht hören.
Okay. Mein Name is Gloria LeBoyer. In Yiddish heißt ich Gito.
Okay, gut.
Gito. Ich bin geboren geworden in Berlin, Germany, nach der Holocaust.
Mhm.
Ein Sach von mir ist, ich bin gewesen ein Lehrer von Mathematics in high school, Highland Park High School.
High school auf Yiddish? Mittelschule. Mittelschule sagt man.
Mittelschule für 34 Jahren.
Shame.
Jetzt bin ich, wie sagt man, retired?
Oh, das ist eine gute Frage.
Mhm.
I'm actually not sure. Als ich arbeite nicht, wird man gesagt. Als ich arbeite.
Nein, ich kriege eine Pension jetzt.
Ja, shame. Sehr shame.
Okay.
Dank, Gito. Dank, schönen Dank.
Mhm.
Jay, was ist nur was rein? Shalom Aleichem, Jay.
Lechem Shalom.
Was macht der Jid?
Der Jid maakt gut. Baruch Hashem. En
Gut
was
sehr.
maakt de leraar?
Ja, gut, der Lehrer ist euch gut. Das heißt, was wir haben gesagt, bis jetzt ist, wir wollen sich vorstellen. Ja, we're just going to introduce ourselves. Ja, und ich habe gebeten 3 Fragen. 3 Fragen. Das heißt, wie heißt du? Was ist dein Name? Ja, wo bist du geboren geworden? Oder wo wohnst du jetzt? Ja, where do you live now? Und a beliebster Fakt wegen sich. A beliebster Fakt wegen sich. Okay, du verstehst, Jay?
Ja, ik verstehe.
Okay, du willst sich vorstellen.
Oh, Ich erster, no?
No, noch Gietel. Gietel hat schon sich vorgestellt.
Uh, my Yiddish Namen is Yochanan, und auf Englisch it heet Jay. Ich woon in Chicago. Und mein Parnasse is retired.
Und hast du etwas beliebster Fakt wegen sich?
It's the beliebster. What
Beliebst. Das ist ein gutes Wort.
beliebst?
I'm going to write it in the chat for you, Jay. Beliebst, and soon I'll write it on my whiteboard, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Beliebst means favorite. Favorite. So for example,
Oh, yeah, like Farley.
Verliebt, ja.
From
Verliebt,
Leeds.
verliebt.
Yeah.
kommt zurück, ja. Beliebster Fakt. Wegen sich. Ja, das heißt wegen.
What is my favorite fox?
A fact, der Fact heißt a fact auf Englisch. Bullshit.
Oh, fact.
Yeah, just a fun fact. Literally a fun fact, a favorite fact. Wegen sich allein.
Wegen mir, wegen der Welt.
Wegen
was?
wegen dir, a fact wegen dir. Auf Yiddish, if you want to say a fact about yourself, you say wegen sich.
Wegen
Wegen
sich.
sie.
Wegen sich, yeah.
Sie.
Ja.
Ja. Ob du darfst mit Zeit, wir können
Ich trage.
Was
Trag, de ganze Nacht.
Jay, erzählt dem von deiner the magic, deine Magic. Das
Ja,
ist eine
okay,
interessante Sache.
Ich bin ein professional Kischefmacher.
so schön.
Du kannst sehen mich in www.suchmagic, with English, suchmagic, eenswort.com.
Shame. Sehr shame. Gut zu hören. Und das ist ein gut Wort, was hat gesagt. Geht acht zu, so the chat box of Yiddish, chat box, which is what I'm typing in, is called das, this is neuter, Schmuis Kestel. Das
Schmuckessel.
Schmuis Kestel. Gut.
Yeah.
Ja, so gut. Was heißt Schmuis? Was heißt Schmuis? Ja, wir wissen.
Schmuss is
Gut. Aber was heißt der Kestel?
Kestel.
A Kessel Garden?
Ja, gut.
A castle, it sounds like a castle.
Aber Kestel is a small box. It's a small box.
Kestel. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
A Kestel, a vade.
So Kestel.
So der Kast is a big box. That might be like a package you receive in the mail or something.
Right.
Der
And
Kast. Das Kestel is a smaller box. So das Schmuis Kestel. It's a good word. Das Schmuis Kestel. Also ich will schreiben ein Wort für euch in dem Schmuiskestel, der Kischefmacher.
yeah.
Der Kischefmacher. Pay attention to the spelling. One word comes from Hebrew, so it has a different spelling system. The other word comes from a Germanic root, or it has the regular Yiddish alphabet. So this first word, Kishef, der Kishef, comes from Hebrew. And so was heißt Kishef, Jay?
Magic.
Good. Kishef.
Wow.
Kischermacher.
Du bist der Kischefmacher.
So good. Kishefmacher, no? Magician.
Yeah.
Good. Kishefmacher.
Jay hat gekommen zu uns a few Jahren zurück.
Mit der paar Jahr zurück. Mit der paar Jahr zurück. So.
A poor year zurück und hat gehabt Magic mit Balloons für meine eine Kinder Sehr guter, sehr gut.
Mhm.
Sehr schön.
You remember, Jay, is das gekommen?
Ja,
Ja,
Mhm.
Sach Joren.
die,
Nur gut. So, das ist so der Geschäftmacher, is a magician. Gut zu wissen. Okay. Anthea, sei so gut und stellt sich vor.
Okay. Okay. Meine englische Namen ist Anthea. Anthea, das ist Greek, but ich bin a jiddische Mädel. Ich, ich habe geboren in Südafrika
Okay.
und gekommen mit meiner Familie in 1967 zu Amerika und gebleibt in Chicago. Jetzt wohnen uns in Florida 8, 9 Monate von die Jahr. Und was ist mein, was habe ich gelebt? Und meine jiddische Namen ist Chaya Golka. Chaya Golka. Was ich habe lieb ist zu, was heißt to run?
Läufen.
Zu laufen, laufen. Ja. So, mein Lieber ist laufen. Und ich habe gezählt für Gloria, ich habe gesehen, dem Woche, sie hat mich gefragt, für was habe ich nicht gelaufen dem Sonntag. Und ich habe gesagt, dass ich habe gelaufen alle Jahr in dem Marathon. Aber jetzt laufe ich 10 Jahre every 10 Jahre. What is every?
So in this scenario, it's a little different. You can, for example, you could say, jede
Okay. So
jede
jede 10 Jahre gehe ich laufen in einem Marathon. Das ist, was ich tun jetzt.
Schön.
Okay.
Schönen Dank. Hi.
Ik heb een vraag voor Gaia, if I may.
Ja.
En dein Grossen is gewinn krank. Was maakt dein Grossen?
Zu Dank, du fragst das. Viel besser. Geht sich rum und fühlt sehr gut die letzten Minuten.
Schön.
Dank für Fragen.
Gut. Schön.
Niet zo voor was.
Schönen Dank, Chaya. Und du hast besser lieb Chaya oder Anthea auf Jiddisch? Was ist eigentlich besser?
Das macht nicht wissen. Nein, das macht nicht.
Ois.
Das macht nicht Eis. Was du will mehr.
In das verbringen Lomer allemaal haben jiddische Namen.
Nein, wir können nicht von unsere
Das ist gut. Das ist gut. So, ich bin Chaya.
Gut, schönen Dank, Chaya. Gut, ein paar Bemerkungen. Eine Bemerkung, was heißt eine Bemerkung? Wenn du weißt, was heißt eine Bemerkung?
Bemerken.
Die Bemerkung heißt an observation.
Dem bemerken. Bemerk. Ja, so you mark.
Okay.
Yeah? So,
Bemerken.
one of the things that's great about introducing ourselves is that it often opens up great moments that we can talk about the language in smaller areas that are things that are good to know and that make us feel more confident about when we speak. So just a couple of things. A paar Bemerkungen, was ich hab. Ja, wegen unserer Sprache. So. Auf Jiddisch sagt man Durim Afrika. Durim Afrika. Oh, I actually spelled that wrong. My bad. 1 second. Durim Afrika. the Vov is the third letter. Durim Afrike. Durim Afrike. Das heißt South Africa.
Because I used to say Drum Africa, but I think that's Hebrew, right? Drum Africa.
It probably comes from a Yiddish source, because it is a Hebrew word, but that pronunciation as Drum or Dorim is very Yiddish. So Durim Afrike af Yiddish. I'll write this out phoneticized a bit until we get more used to the letter. Durim or Dorim.
Durim Africa, okay.
Is South Africa.
Africa, okay.
Etwas zu gedenken, als alle Richtungen, das heißt directions, ja, alle Richtungen auf Jiddisch haben Loschen Koidish dicke,
Ja.
yeah, das heißt, as they come from Loschen Koidish, right? This word, don't be scared of this long word. Loschen Koidish dik. I wrote it out there. Loschen Koidish dik. Don't be scared of this word. All it means is that these are words that come from Hebrew and Aramaic. So Loschen heißt Zung, yeah? Tongue, language, yeah? Koidish heißt das, was ist heilig. It's holy, yeah? So the holy tongue, all that dik is doing at the end is making it into an adjective. So it's as if you said holy tongue-ish words is essentially what's happening, right? Loschen koidish dik werd.
Loschen koidish dik.
So something to keep in mind that all directions in Yiddish use Loschen koidish words. So south is Durim, yeah?
Durim.
Was is north? Emetze West?
North. Nord.
Soffen sagt man.
Soffen.
Soffen sagt man. Soffen.
Mit der Tzadi, no?
Mit der Zadig, ja. Es ist da in Schmueskastel. Soffen.
Mizrach und Ma'ariv.
Gut. Mizrach und Ma'ariv.
Mizrach und Ma'ariv, ja. West ist
Und Ma'ariv. Ich glaube, das ist geschrieben.
Ma'ariv.
Mizrach und Ma'ariv. Ob du willst das anschreiben.
Yeah. I remember saying Mizrach Eden, so
Ja.
Eden, Jews from the east, yeah.
Ja, warte, gut. Das heißt, das sind unsere Richtungen. Eure Bemerkung. Ich habe eine Frage. Chaye, deine Sprache, sind sie Litwakis?
Ja.
Okay.
Ja. Litwakisch in Manns Familie binnen Polish.
Good. So I can hear it in your Yiddish. You actually have a wonderful mix of Polish and Litvak Yiddish in your Yiddish. It's great. Great to hear.
Actually, very high percentage of South African Jews were Litvaks, predominantly like 90% or so.
But you can hear the Litvak in your Yiddish, Chaya, very strongly when you say this expression. You said, "Ich hab geboren geworden." Now, this is something specific to Litvak Yiddish, something that I will probably teach differently, but it doesn't mean your way of speaking is wrong, Chaya. Usually, this phrase, I was born, in what we call standard Yiddish, is Ich bin geboren, is kind of the general way of saying it. Litvaks often use hoppen in most past tense cases, even when we're used to saying bin or using sein. So at any rate, Ich hab geboren geworden is perfectly fine for you to say Chaya, but if others say Ich hab geboren geworden, if
others say it, it's cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Good. Shame. Okay. Noch ein Mensch. Jean, willst du sich vorstellen ein bisschen?
Okay. Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Yeah, my name is Jean. Ich bin geboren in Sowjetische Bund mit 50 Jahren zurück.
Schön.
Ich bin gekommen zu Amerika. 33 Jahr zurück.
Ja.
Ich bin Database Architect.
Architect sagt man.
Architect. Ich
Mhm.
bin Database Architect. Ich bin leben in Buffalo Grove für die letzten 20 Jahre.
Mhm. Schön. Schön.
Oh,
Und ein beliebster Fakt wegen sich.
okay. Oh, ich hab 3 Namen.
Oh, schön.
Ich hab amerikanische Namen,
Mhm.
Gene Katzman. Ich hab irische Namen,
Mhm.
hebräische Namen. Is hold on. I forgot my Hebrewisch name. Hebrewisch name is Joseph ben Kalman Akehen.
Schön. Sehr schön.
Ich hab russische Name.
Mhm.
Gennady Konstantinovich Katzmann.
Schön.
Ich bin Aid. Und ich bin, oh, hold on. Ich bin geboren in die größte Stadt in Europa.
Schön. Sehr schön. Danke. Und du hast besser lieb, das heißt, do you prefer, du hast besser lieb Jean, Yosef oder Gennady? Doch.
Yosef.
Gene is good. Oh, you can call me. Hey, you can. Ich kann heißt Genna.
Gerne.
Genau.
Ja,
Genau.
Sehr schön.
mein Bubi geheißt used to call me.
Mein,
Geheißt,
mein Bob, here, I'm right out.
my Bubi
Hat
geheißt
mir
mir Genale.
Genele. Ja,
Mhm.
das
just
ist
figured out-
russische und jiddische.
Russische und
Lady
Jiddische.
Mit der
Mhm.
jiddische.
Russische mit Jiddisch.
Was, ich muss sagen, ist sehr jiddischlich. Ja, das heißt, wir haben da, mein Bobbe hat mir gerufen, Genele. Genele.
Mein Bubi hat mir gerufen Genale.
Schön, sehr schön. Gut. Okay, Genele. Schönen Dank oder gerne. Gut, das ist schön zu wissen. Und wir haben unser letzter Mensch da. Shalom Aleichem, Mark.
Aleichem Shalom.
Und willst du sich vorstellen?
Wait. I'm pretty
Fine.
shy, but
Nee,
my nomen is Mark, of Yiddish Moshe.
Gut, schön.
Mhm.
Ich bin geboren geworden in Palatine, in Chicago.
Mhm.
Landsman, Buffalo Grove.
Mhm.
See, ich wohne jetzt in Evanston.
Mhm.
Let's see, fact. Ich spiele Flute.
Schön,
Mhm.
schön. Du sagst, dass du
Ein
pfeifst.
Musikant.
Mhm.
Ja,
So,
Ja, das heißt, dass du pfeifst. Ja,
Die
zu pfeifen. Ja.
so pfeifen heißt to whistle or to play the whistle.
Mhm.
Gut, du pfeifst. Sehr schön. Schönen Dank, wollen Sie sich vorstellen. Oh, noch eine Sprachbemerkung, was ich habe. Euch mir will sagen, Soviet Union auf Yiddish.
Mhm.
We have a couple options.
Sowjetische Bund? Oder?
Das ist besser für die Deutschen. Die Deutschen sagen
Oh.
das. Hast du a background in German, Gene?
Say it again?
Do you maybe have a background in German a little bit?
Little bit. My
Okay.
background in German.
Because you called it a
together
Bund?
with in Yiddish.
Yeah. No, I can hear it a little. So for example, auf Yiddish sagt man besser zurück, nicht
Zurück.
nicht zurück. Ja, das ist besser auf Yiddish zu sagen.
Oh, I see.
Mit der Yud-Klang. You know, with
Zurück.
the klang, the sound, with the sound of a Yud, mit der Yud-Klang. Ja,
Mhm. Oh,
Soviet,
I see.
so Soviet Union. Wir können sagen, der Rattenverband, der Rattenverband.
Rattenverband.
Der Rat, a Rat
Rattenverband.
is a council, so it's a direct translation of Soviet von Russisch.
Mhm.
And then Verband, like Bund, yeah,
Ja, Bund.
which I think auf Russisch heißt Soyuz, meine ich, etwas zu sagen?
Soyuz, ja.
Ja,
Sowjetski Soyuz.
Warte, gut. Der Rattenverband, so it's a direct translation of Sowjetski Soyuz, auf Yiddish.
Mhm.
Rattenverband. We can also say Sowjetische Russenland.
Sowjetische Russland. Oh, okay.
Sowjetische Russenland.
So,
Yeah.
British, Russia.
Sowjetische Russland.
It's the Soviet Russia. Oh, but auf Yiddish,
Mhm.
this is not, it doesn't sound as weird, not weird in English, but it's, in English, Russia might be more localized, whereas in
Mhm.
Yiddish, Sowjetische Russenland is a fine way or a common way of referring to the entirety of the USSR.
Ja.
Yeah.
So the Rattenverband, the most common is Rattenverband. That's probably the most common.
Rattenverband. Okay.
Yeah, Rattenverband. Good. Shane.
Nou, mijn bobby's en zedi's hebben gekomen in Amerika voor de Sovjetische Rusland en in de tijd van een Zaren, de
Mhm,
Königen.
mhm.
En allemaal is ook in Rusland.
Mhm.
Russland kann man sagen. Ja, warte. Good.
Mhm.
Schönen Dank. If you're seeing the white screen, it's purposeful.
Yeah.
That's my whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
So, wie sagt man whiteboard auf Yiddish?
A weißer Bord.
It's a good idea. Aber that would
Weißer Tisch?
so, hold on. So, wer weiß, was a weißer Board ist? It means a white beard. A white beard.
Ah,
Oh, white
Bord.
beard.
Yeah,
White beard.
Bord. Yeah,
Board
yeah,
is a
yeah,
beard.
yeah, yeah.
So a
Bord
white- a
is a
weißer
beard.
Bord
Yeah,
would be a
yeah,
beard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A whiteboard of Yiddish is a tovel.
A
a
tovel.
It's der tovel. Don't let the
Tovel.
lamed at the end confuse you. It's der tovel. Der tovel.
Oh, der Tovel.
Yeah, so
der,
those means they're tovel. And often what I like to do is I will write on this board a lot. We didn't see that when we met last time because I didn't need to, but now this is my primary way of teaching. It's nice, especially for Zoom, because you can see what I'm doing. And also it's a nice chance for you all to practice reading my handwriting, which, you know, you'll see. It's not a Yiddish problem. I just have little chicken scratchies. You'll have to forgive me. At any rate,
And
Nice.
so yeah,
just a quick question.
yeah.
Remember you were asking that what do we want to learn and so on, and something what if you will also, because I know the Hebrew letters, but the written version of it is Yiddish letters. They're
Mhm.
slightly different.
Mhm.
And will we try to learn them too in the class?
Absolutely. We can review the letters as we go.
Not just reviewing the letters, but reviewing the writing of them, because we're
Yeah.
calligraphy letters,
Absolutely.
which are
Right.
different from a printing version of it.
Mhm. Absolutely. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to teach, we're going to do a small grammar lesson now,
Mhm.
so you all can get a more accurate understanding of the topic we're going to talk about in a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write everything in handwriting here, and we will pay special attention to which specific letters I'm writing, and we will do this through exposure. And then as well, Jean, I can send out in the homework, if you, and also a note on homework, although we'll get there. I never expect anyone to do homework. It's never a requirement. I get it, life exists. I only want you to do work that's helpful. So what I usually send out is options for you. And then I ask that if you do the options, you bring questions. That way we can talk
Okay.
about. But what I can do is in the homework, Gene, I can send out optional if you'd like to practice as well for handwriting.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, great. So let's start here. What I want to talk about today is kind of a scary topic for some, but I'm hoping to make it as simple as possible because I love it, and it really shouldn't feel too scary because it's as far as Germanic languages go, Yiddish does it in a pretty easy fashion, and I'll show you, hopefully make it as easy as possible. Today, we're going to talk about cases, everyone's favorite topic. Who here knows what a case is? A grammatical case.
Grammatical case is something when you have a noun, it's changing the ending of it depending what are you doing, like a nominative, accusative, and
Right.
so on.
Good.
Is it a good explanation?
Yeah. Good. That is a good explanation. Essentially, cases are just, the word case only refers to what a specific noun is doing in a sentence. It all it refers to. It is just naming the function of a noun. So, for example, in the sentence, the cat scratches the dog. We have a couple different functions there, right? We have the cat, which is our subject, right? This isn't too strange. The subject, and then I can actually write this out. The cat scratches the dog. So in the first place, we have our subject, the thing that is doing the action. We also have our verb here, which in this case, we don't need to worry about too much because cases really only apply to nouns. For the most part, we'll talk about what that looks like in a second. And then we have the dog. Does anyone know what the dog is called grammatically in this instance?
The objective or
Hund.
accusative.
Great. It's the object. Great. And not just any object, it's the direct object. And we'll talk about what direct means in a second as well. What's happening is the subject, our cat, is scratching the dog. And there's no break. There's no other words. There's no prepositions between scratching and the dog. And in this case, the dog is directly affected. Not only is he directly being scratched, there's no prepositions, there's no intermediary words between the scratch and the dog. Hence, it is the direct object immediately after the scratch. What Yiddish does is, unlike English, it marks which is a direct object and which is a subject in order to make our comprehension easier. Because according to the structure of a Yiddish sentence, we can actually move these ideas around and still come to the same meaning. And I'll show you what I mean. So for example, if we wanted to mark in English what a subject is, we might add a sound. So we might say, I don't know, the kata or something to that effect. We're just going to add a sound. And this just means that it's the subject. It's marking it as the subject. It's saying anything that has an after it is a subject. Then we have our scratch. And then we have the dog, and we're going to add an O here. And this O stands for object. And the stands for subject, just in this theoretical scenario. What's happening here is that we get a sentence, the cat scratches the dog O. Sounds funny to our English ears, but plenty of languages have structures like this that mark which is a subject, which is an object. And it means, one second, and if it means that if we change the order, if I said the dog O scratches the cat which sounds really funny to our English ears, we would still know which is the object and which is the subject because of these little markings. It doesn't matter which order they're in. Any questions about this? I see faces. Let me know.
I don't know, maybe because this is where I had the issue in Yiddish in case of there and them. So is it something where you would use, like in case for a dog, you would use the them instead of the there?
Yes, correct.
I don't know, I'm probably going too far right now.
No, you're not going too far at all. That's exactly what we're doing here.
And
Now,
this is exactly what we are doing there.
Exactly what we're doing.
Yiddish, we are defining who is a subject and an object by the article for that matter.
Yes, because essentially what's happening here with this crazy scenario with the cat scratches the dog what I'm underlining is the fact that if I wrote the dog which for object, scratches the cat it actually doesn't matter in this scenario that the dog is coming first and the cat is coming third in the sentence. Doesn't matter at all because we have these markings that tell us which is
Yeah.
our subject and which is our
But
object.
in English, you would have to say the dog scratched by the cat. So
Sure,
Well,
or we would just say the cat scratches the dog because in
yeah, or
English,
you can,
in English, we define our subject and our object by place in the sentence.
yes.
We tell our listener that this is the subject and this is the object by putting it in a specific place. Yiddish doesn't do that. What Yiddish does is it marks every word. And you're about to see why I did this insane
Well,
system.
the problem with English is that it's not an inflected language in that way. So the example starts to become difficult to follow. If you use Latin, where amat feminam, the man loves the woman, then it really doesn't matter which order you put those three words in. But in English, it's always going to, it is going to matter, even when you put this hypothetical tag on.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it helps or hinders, but
You'll see what I mean. Stick with me here. Yeah, stick with me here. I have
right.
there's a master plan here about what I'm doing. So
all right.
the word for case in Yiddish is a beig fall. A beig fall. Just to review these letters here, this is a bays here. Bays, zwei Juden, Gimel, beig, g, fall.
Big,
Fei,
big, fall,
Pasach Aleph, Lamed. Beig,
big,
fall.
fall. Big,
Beig fall.
big, fall,
Beig fall.
big, fall. Right.
They're cases. In Yiddish traditionally has three cases. One that's called the nominative. This word shouldn't scare you though. It
Yeah.
sounds funny. It's long. This word just means subject. It just means subject. Nominative is our subject. We also have an accusative. This word just literally refers to that which is accused, that which is directly accused. It's our direct object.
It's direct.
And then we also have this dative case, which is called our indirect object. Now, Yiddish likes to mark these cases, and you'll see this more as we work with Yiddish. And my goal today is to plant the seed in your head of thinking more about cases as you speak, because it'll help you not only with spoken Yiddish, but also reading Yiddish, which we'll also be doing in this class too. So starting with the nominative, it sounds more complicated than it is. It's actually quite simple. We already know the nominative because the nominative is marked by our regular article system, der, die, and das. Der, die, and das. Der being the masculine, die being the feminine, das being the neuter. And we won't really worry about plural right now. So, was is a der Wort? Was is a masculine Wort auf Yiddish? So, gut, der Bleier. Der Bleier. Der Bleier. Yeah, a Bleier is a pencil.
Pay, a
Oh.
pencil.
Bleier. Der Bleier. A page is a Zeitel. A
A
Zeitel.
Zeitung.
Zeitel.
Der
So
Mann, der Mann is masculine.
Yeah, and their man is masculine. Yeah, their man is masculine. Their
man.
Mensch is masculine. Their
Der
fence,
Sohn, whatever it is.
their Zun. Yeah, their Zun, their Fenster, their Mensch,
House,
their
their
man.
house. Is the house masculine?
Toys?
Nein, Hoys
Nein.
is neuter. Das
Neuter.
Hoys.
Yeah.
Das Hoys.
Der Mann.
Das one.
But at any rate, we know this already. Der Mensch, it's a masculine noun, right? Der Mensch. We really don't say die Mensch. We say der Mensch, yeah? And
Yeah.
all that's happening is that der, this article is not just the masculine article, it's the masculine article for a subject.
Mhm.
for a subject in a sentence. Hence, it becomes der. The same thing happens with this D, We get die Freu, for example. Die Freu, which is, was heißt die Freu?
Woman.
Woman.
Or is a woman.
It's a vibe.
Woman.
Vibe,
woman.
vibe.
Well, a woman. Well,
Woman, yeah.
So a woman or a wife.
or a
Die Freu.
wife.
Vibe, but you can use a vibe for a vibe.
Yeah, well, really, it means woman. It really at its heart,
Mhm,
it means
mhm.
die Freu, haste woman. And so this D here is not only the feminine article, it's what? The feminine article for the subject, right? It's marking that we're talking about die Freu. The Freu is the subject of our sentence.
Mhm.
Dos, there's a lot of great words for dos. We might use something like kind here.
Yeah.
Dos kind is neuter. It's a neuter word. Dos kind.
In
Dos,
this
kind.
and use it.
Same thing here. This dos is not just marking that this is a neuter noun. It's also marking that it's a neuter noun in the nominative. It's saying that it's a subject. Yeah. So for example, moving on to accusative, just very quickly, and we won't worry about dative today. Moving on to accusative just very quickly, in the example of the cat scratches the dog, the cat was our nominative, our subject. How do we say the cat auf Yiddish? Wie sagt man the cat auf
Die
Yiddish?
cats.
The
Cats.
cats.
Die Katz.
Okay.
Die Katz.
The cat.
Die Katz sagt man. Die
Right.
Kat.
That's my last name.
Die Katz. Good. But in that example, we also have this other noun, the dog. Wie sagt man Dog auf Yiddish?
Hund.
Dem
Hund.
Hund.
So in nominative case, we'll call it der Hund, but in accusative, should we use dem Hund?
So that's a
Der
great. Yeah, we're going to get exactly to there, Jeannie. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we der Hund here.
Mhm.
And what is this der doing? One more time, just to review. Normally,
It's
there is what?
The masculine.
Mhm.
masculine.
And not just masculine. What else is it?
Nominative.
The nominative subject.
Mhm.
Nominative subject. Exactly. Now, in this scenario where the cat, and we'll use a simpler verb, schlugen. Schlugen. Hit.
Hits.
Schlugen.
It's hit.
Hit. Yeah, we're gonna say the cat hits the dog in Yiddish. You know, schlugen, schlugen, haste hit. In that scenario, this der Hund is no longer our subject, so we have to tag it somehow. We have to mark it as becoming the object. Hence, this der becomes dem Hund.
Hund.
Dem Hund. Dem Hund.
Okay.
And this system of changes is actually, there are only 4 articles in Yiddish. Der, die, dos, and dem. That's it. There's no other articles. Meaning, definite articles, that is. Meaning that if you know der, die, dos, and dem, you only have one of 4 choices. And even, we can even make that a little easier as we learn this more specifically. More time we spend together. But to now, for today, I want you to remember that it's der in the nominative and dem in the accusative for masculine nouns. That's your only task today. Just know that it changes from der to dem. It's being tagged. Yeah. So now we get this sentence. Die
Katze
Katz.
schluckt dem Hund.
schluckt dem Hund. Ot azoi. Schluckt
Looked
dem
them.
Hund. Die Katz schluckt dem Hund.
Hund.
The cat hits the dog. Yeah. Can anyone imagine another scenario with another masculine noun in both the nominative and accusative? Does anyone want to come up with an example of their own? It could be, for example, Ich schlug dem Mann. I hit the man. That would work just fine. Does anyone want to offer another example they can think of?
Schlug Copernicus, but Copernicus is
Schlug Copernicus. Yeah.
Copernicus
Mhm.
is it dem d? I
Well, we can-
never heard it used with never heard it used with an article. It just
Well,
say ich schlug Copernicus.
Because it doesn't need an article, because in that sense, you're just schlugen kapulis, you know?
Yeah,
Just
like the-
talking.
But if you wanted to say the man hits the chicken, to be a little grim about it,
Yeah.
um,
der Mensch
say,
schluckt den.
you could say der Mann, or in this case, we'll just say der Mensch
Yeah,
schluckt dem Hund.
Hund, ja,
Mensch schluckt dem Hund. Same idea. Same idea. We have a direct object, which is the chicken, and we have our subject, which is the man. And they're both masculine, yet one has a der and one has a dem. That is really the most complexity that you'll find in the Yiddish language case system. You just also have to learn these for other genders and cases. That's it. That's it. But this is all that's happening in the Yiddish language. When people are speaking Yiddish and they're using these cases, all they're doing is actually, they're giving a gift to you as a listener. They're telling you, don't misunderstand me. This is the object in a sentence. This is the subject. And the great thing about this is that we can actually change our sentence order according to these tagged words to be a little bit more creative in our language. So for example, I could easily write dem Hund schluckt
Die.
die Katz. Now, someone would probably say this like this: dem Hund schluckt die Katz. Dem Hund schluckt die Katz. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that the dog is now hitting the cat. This means that we're emphasizing that it was the dog that was hit. Dem Hund schluckt der Katz. For example, maybe someone might say, oh, schluckt die Katz, I don't know, schluckt die Katz die Frau? Did the cat hit the woman? Nein, nein, dem Hund schluckt die Katz. Dem Hund schluckt die Katz. All we're doing is emphasizing the object in the sentence. But even though it's in a different order, we know as Yiddish speakers what is happening here, because it's neatly marked out for us. Dem Hund, die Katz. Or in the example of the Mensch and the man and the chicken, you could say dem Hund schluckt der Mensch as an example, and it would still be the same sentence. Okay. This is all the grammar we're going to do for today. How is this feeling?
gut,
Right.
Good, sehr good.
sehr gut.
Was ist du gesagt, Herr?
For me, is das a mishmash.
Yeah, ich verstehe. No, it is tough. It is tough, especially when this is something that doesn't come natural. I completely understand. This is why
actually is very important for me, because I always had an issue with the der and the dem, and I couldn't figure it out. But you put it
so
nicely. It's
Sorgt
completely clear for me now.
sich nicht. The reason I'm doing this is this method of learning is not going to work for everyone. That is why I'm going to endeavor to also include our speaking practice and also our literature practice, where you will see this very clearly written out in clear examples in Yiddish literature that will help you adapt using this more and understanding it more. This is not the final say on it. This is just me introducing this rule. Let it ruminate in your brain, let it sit for a little, kind of get you used to how this language works and functions, and then we're going to see it close up when we work on more cultural sources, say like literature. Okay.
No, but this one is great. It's actually
good. I'm glad.
completely clear for me.
And Chaya, I promise, especially when we read, I think it's going to be a little more easy. I really do.
Ich hoffe, das ist correct.
Basis das ist richtig. Basis das ist richtig. Ja?
Ich heiß, das ist what's correct? What's correct?
So
Das ist
a thing.
das ist a sei. Das ist a sei.
Well, so you can say that. You can absolutely say that. Or there are two words for correct in Yiddish. There's richtig
Richtig, right.
and
richtig.
gerecht. However, be careful. Gitach.
Okay.
A
Okay.
thing can be richtig and a person can be gerecht, but never the other way around. So for example,
Correct.
if you wanted to say, oh, Chaya, you're
Good.
correct, you would say,
Sag
oh,
nach
Chaya,
einmal bitte. Nach einmal.
Jo,
Das ist,
richtig und gerecht.
Gerecht,
Ja.
gerecht. Ja, ich weiß beide den Worten. Ja, gerecht. Ja,
Diese Felder schreiben.
richtig. Mhm.
you said something about a person can be gerecht and a thing can be
Yeah.
Richtig.
richtig.
That right now. So,
Gerecht. Okay.
so
Richtig. Ja,
Correct.
en gerecht.
so
Und gerecht.
a Sach can be richtig and a Mensch can sein gerecht.
Een mens, ja.
So,
Een mens.
If I wanted to
Okay.
say, Oi, Yochanan, you're right. I would say, Oi, Yochanan, du bist gerecht. Du bist gerecht.
Mhm.
However, if I wanted to say what you said is correct, the sentence was correct, I would say, der Satz is
Sach.
richtig. Der
Mhm.
Satz is richtig. That's the
Mhm.
difference. So, so there's two ways. And then also what Chaya said is absolutely correct. If you wanted to say that is such or that's correct, you can also use this great word in Yiddish, azoi, but Chaya says azay. That's just a lip lock thing. Don't worry about it. But it's the same word. And azoi, yeah, dos is azoi. That means that's correct. That is so. That is such. Literally, is what that means.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
And,
So I've already hit you with a lot of language today. So basically, what I'm looking forward with you all is, and how this is going to look is, we had a longer chat today because I wanted us to get to know each other and speak a little Yiddish. What's going to happen is we're going to begin every class with a discussion. We're going to talk a little bit in Yiddish. I'm probably going to ask you a question.
das wird seine Machaya.
Ja,
Dank.
das ist ein Ja, Michael. Und ich will euch etwas fragen. Ja? And nicht gedeiget, sorgt sich nicht. Don't worry if you don't know a word, if you don't know how to say something. That's why I'm here. It's my purpose. So just try your best to get used to speaking and talking together here in this kind of Yiddish speaking community that we're building in this Zoom room. And then what I'm probably going to do is do a quick grammar lesson, the best I can, in regard to probably some reading that I would have sent, but don't worry if you didn't do the reading because you can also catch it in class. But if you're someone who likes to take your time and read, that might be nice for you. And then we'll do that. And then I will select something, a poem, a song, probably some literature, because I am a literature student, so I'm a little biased, probably some literature that we'll read together that will show you concretely how that specific grammar point is working in the language itself. Today I had something prepared. We didn't get to it. Not a problem at all. We'll get to it next time. What I'm thinking about reading is this book. I can actually show you a little preview. I want to read this book slowly, probably a page at a time, if that. There's no need to rush. That's called Berele. Hold on. It's going to be a little head spinny for a sec. One sec.
Yeah.
One moment. It's just laggy. Give it a second. There we go. Okay.
Berele.
Berele.
Yingle. Berele is a Yingle.
Berele Yingle. So this is
Yeah.
this is a book written by Nochem Chanin, who was a writer for children. He wrote pretty prolifically, similar to Chaver Paver. Have you ever heard that name? So you might think of Berele as
Like
kind of.
Yingele Motel by Shalom Aleichem.
It's similar to Multiple Chazans. You might think of this as the anti-Multiple Chazans, because this is, or you might think of it as kind of the anti-fiddler. It's a look back on the shtetl and shtetl life, but under the Tsar, so it has that same kind of backdrop. But Berele gets involved in some radical anarchist groups, as you can see.
Okay.
So it's not your typical shtetl story. So this is Berele. I'm going to scroll down. So you'll see here on the title page, it says Berele von Nun Chanin, Zeichnungen von Note Kozlowski. So a Zeichnung is an illustration. Zeichnungen. I'll zoom in on the top so you guys can see this as clearly as possible. Zeichnungen von Note Kozlowski. Herausgegeben von Verlag Kindering bei dem Bildungskomitee von dem Arbeiterring New York. So a couple quick things real fast. So Berele is the title. Ooh,
Berele,
that's way
wow.
too big. One moment. Berele is the title here. Yeah. Zeichnungen is illustrations. Herausgegeben means published.
Published, a Royce.
Yeah.
Von Verlag Kindering, literally children's circle. Von Verlag Kindering by dem Bildungskomitee, which means education committee. So notice here, we see a dem here
Yeah,
and a dem here.
dim, yeah.
Oh.
Very,
Yeah.
very common. If you see a dem, all it means is it's definitely not the subject. That's really all that means. It says it's not the subject. So
Arbitering, yeah.
by dem Bildungskomitee means it's the children's ring or children's circle at the education committee of the von dem Arbeiterring in New York, which is the workers' circle, and they still do Yiddish related stuff today. You see the translation here in English. This was printed in 1938, as you'll see. Then, so it says, I'd actually love maybe Gittel. Would you like to read this out loud?
Gittel, me? Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Moshe.
Haben Sie
Meise.
etwas?
A Masa.
Meister von
Yeah.
an Aros,
An Oren. An Oren.
A room.
Jingo,
Let's let Gitzel read it out once, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah.
a Meister von an Aros, Arum,
An Orem. An
Aoram, poor, Aoram, Jingo,
Mhm.
was is a Reus gewachsen?
Was ist
Ausgewachsen?
was ist ausgewachsen? Yep. Was ist
Ausgewachsen, a Kämpfer. Kämpfer?
a Kämpfer. Yeah, it was a Kämpfer. He fights. He's a fighter.
Fighter.
Kämpfer is was meint a
So-
Kämpfer?
So a Kämpfer is a fighter. And it comes from the verb kämpfen, to fight. Kämpfen, to fight against something.
So it says it's a story about poor
Mhm.
boy
Yep.
who is a so he came from or a
So it's
so he grew
nicht-
up. He
so,
grew
yeah,
up.
good. So nicht ausgewachsen, because that would mean to grow out of something. It's
Mm.
ausgewachsen. He grew
Oh,
up.
ausgewachsen means he grows up. Ausgewachsen
Yeah.
as a fighter.
Yes. Yeah.
He became a fighter.
Yes, exactly. So
And
story-
I don't think this means a boxer.
Nay. So it means I think actually he engages in some domestic terrorism in the Russian Empire, but so it says a Meise von den Ohren Jingle, a story of a poor boy grew up to be a fighter versus ausgewachsen Kämpfer against the Tsar. Versteht sich? This is Berele, and this was like you might think of like a I don't know, like a good middle school read. If you're like a middle school Yiddish student, you might read the story and hook up to Berele. So here's Berele, and then our story begins. Don't worry about all the text. We can take it one page at a time, even less. It's not important. What is really important to us is just getting used to the language and reading and writing. There's no speed involved. And usually what I'll do is when we read this is for easy on the eyes, I will just kind of get rid of this.
Is there any way you can make the letters abyssal aggressive?
Maybe, let me see.
Oh,
How's that?
Oh, that's nice.
Besser, Azoy, Ashanim Don.
So this is so Yochanan, would you like, we're out of time, but Yochanan, to kind of close up our class, would you like to read the title of this chapter?
The title. Berele's Hoys,
Mhm.
Sein Tata, Mama. His house, his father and mother.
Exactly.
Yeah, his parents.
Berele's house and his parents. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is just a teaser of what we'll do in the future. So I picked this book because I think it'll be a good way to practice our Yiddish. If we don't end up liking it, I have other pretty simple books we can do. But I think this one's fun. So I think it'll be good. At any rate, a schönen Dank für den Kommen. Ich bin so zufrieden, was wir sind alle da und ich
Nicht
gucke
auf
sehr
Haus,
starke Voice auf und lernen sich Jiddisch
nicht
dabei.
Gedanken.
Und ich will euch in Gieren schreiben, nur ein kleiner Blitzbrief, ein E-Mail.
Mhm.
Ja.
Blitzbrief,
Mhm.
ein E-Mail. Ich will euch in Gieren schreiben, einen kleinen Blitzbrief mit ein bisschen Heimarbeit. Euer bewilltes. Und euer hat nicht die Zeit, nicht gedeigt, es ist nicht gefährlich. Ihr könnt kommen und wir werden reden. Aber ich bete euch, ob ihr tut die Heimarbeit, kommt zurück in Klasse mit Frages. Mit Frages, was ihr habt. Ich gucke sehr stark auf den Herren deine Frages. Und ich meine, das ist als verheint.
Mhm.
As long as no one else has a question they'd like to ask. I hope you enjoyed. I know kind of getting into the spirit of language learning could be a little overwhelming at first, but I promise I'm going to do my best to make it.
It's a joy.
But-
It
No,
really
it's
is.
good.
Okay, nicht schwer.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nicht
Shane,
Das ist
a
eine
großer
Chaya.
Dank zu.
A Michael. Das ist ein Michael. Du
Also,
weißt, was ist ein Michael? Das ist ein Michael zu lernen.
du meinst Machaya, Efshe?
No, Michael is like it's just great. Michael. Don't you know Michael?
I know Michael as this word, which means a meal, a Michael, like Michael Zeit.
No, when you eat food, is echt a Michael.
Yeah.
It sounds like a diminutive of Machaya. Machaya.
Yeah, I
Machaya.
don't know. Well, I don't know. That's the
Michael.
word I knew growing up. Like if
Depends on-
something was really great, you'd say, "Oh, this is a Michael." You know, like when you're sitting by the seaside and the wind's blowing, and you know it's
Yeah.
warm temperature. Das is a Michael.
I can tell you that's really interesting. I can tell you in my Yiddish, der Michael is like a meal, or like for example,
Ah,
if you go to a country and they have a certain cuisine, they have Micholim. They have kind of different ways of
Yeah.
cooking. I wonder if that might be a shortening of like Machayale or something.
maybe I don't know. Maybe, but
Because in my Yiddish, and this doesn't mean that either of us is wrong by no means. It means what I'm used to is machaya, which means a pleasure, a joy, or a
Right.
wonder.
right. And I've heard that word too, but
Yeah.
Michael, well, whatever. All
No,
right.
no, I'm sure. I'll also look into this. That's great. Anyway, a sheinem dank. And I'll see you all next week. Keep an eye out for the email, and I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Shane, dank.
A Shannon Dank.
Vielen Dank.
Sei gesund.
Sehr gut.
Sei gesund.
Sehr gut, sei gesund.